Hey, beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I guess you can call it a podcast. All right, you guys, we're here to wrap this shit up. Let's wrap up this Ready to Love reunion part two. Just an FYI, I have not seen it yet, so you'll be getting my initial reaction. We're gonna see what type of foolishness they have going on because I'm sure it's foolishness. If you have not already, please consider subscribing to the channel. We would love to have you be part of the Beautiful People family and like the video, comment. Let's talk about some things. And yeah, let's get started, guys. All right, so they pick up where they left off at with the girls acting a fool. And what is her name? Roundaway Girl 3 or whatever. Tequila. She's pissed off. She's bringing Goof Troop Sierra in it. Sierra's like, what did I do? And she's just goofy, y'all. The fat girl Janelle can't tell her nothing. She's just like, oh my God, she's just ridiculous. Y'all, none of these women are likable. None of these women are likable. And I'm trying to think if any of the men are likable, and they are not. No one on this cast is really likable. And I'm not even trying to be shitty because maybe they are likable in person, like in their real life, they could be decent people. However, on this show, they are not coming off as likable. And I'm over it. So hopefully this shit will be over soon. All right, let's keep it moving. All right, y'all, quick sidebar. I'm going to try to be in a better mood because I really am in a shitty mood. And I'll tell you why. Yesterday, I woke up so good. Y'all, just feeling great and just satisfied with life. So I end up putting up a post about it. And as I'm doing it, I'm like, fuck. As soon as you are satisfied with life and you're feeling good, something is going to happen. It's just inevitable that some bullshit is going to happen. And didn't it? Didn't it? The day ended up just being super shitty by the end of the day and night or whatever. So it's carrying over into today because I'm just like, fuck it all. And I'm going to try very hard not to be so mean in this review, but these people suck. This show sucks. So let's move on. All right, y'all. Before y'all go and click off, like, oh, it's just gonna be a really funky review. I'm gonna try really hard not to make it funky, but in my defense, you have to admit that I'm very cognizant of my emotions and my feelings and my behavior. And I know, I gave a disclaimer, a warning that, I'm in a really negative space, so it might be a really negative review. But with this show, I think they kind of all are. So there's that. So we come back and we're talking to Janelle, Can't Tell Me Nothing, Bundles, Cat, Workout Guy 2, Q, and Gerald Levert, Morier is up there. And we do the whole montage of how Kat and Janelle got along or didn't get along. And we come back, we ask Kat why she doesn't like Janelle. She says, listen, I'm not a mean girl. I don't dislike her. I didn't just, wake up like, oh, I don't like this girl. She can't talk to people. She doesn't know how to talk to people. She doesn't know how to address people. And yeah, I have a problem with that. Like, you're not going to talk to me any kind of way. My thought is, that makes perfect sense to me. And then we have Tequila in the back, Tequila, whatever her name is, in the back. And she's like, she is rude, don't know how to talk to nobody. And I'm like, okay, ma'am, calm down, pipe down. But, Kat is telling her side of the story and she's doing it very, very eloquently. Like, she's not cursing, she's not going off or anything. Then you have Q trying to defend Janelle, and he's like, yeah, but do you think you had a part to play in the whole thing? And she's like, absolutely not, because I did not, once again, dislike her until she started addressing me in a way that is not okay. So there you go. So she shut him down. I'm like, you should probably just shut up. And I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say. He should probably just shut up. But Tommy even asked Kat, like, hey, didn't you call her out her name? Y'all, she owned that shit and I loved it. She said, I sure did. Yeah, I did. Yeah, that was me. Say, girl, you better own that shit. So now we see what Janelle Can't Tell Me Nothing has to say. And you guys, again, y'all know how I feel about this girl. I'm trying not to be super negative, and so I will try not to really go hard and call her out her name and really talk about her, but she's not a pleasant person. And she thinks she's all that. She's really not. She's not unattractive, but she's not all that what she thinks she is. And her attitude makes her even worse. Like, her attitude is so awful that it's just not cute, and it makes her not cute. And it's unfortunate for the people who have to deal with her in real life. Like, honestly, it is unfortunate, the people that have to be around her. Like, have to be around her. And then this guy. Anyway, let's move on. We find out what this girl has to say. Okay, you guys. So, can't tell me nothing. Her take on it is that all of the women are obsessed with her, and the fact that she's great. She has connections. She's been in rooms with all these wonderful people, and I'm like, but are you wonderful? Like, we're talking about the people you've been in rooms with. And yeah, you guys, she's a clown. And you know what's unfortunate is that I've seen it. It happens where some women that are bigger or whatever, like, they have this confidence that is really not a confident, like, they feel like they have to overcompensate and act super confident, when in actuality they're not. They're seriously insecure because of certain things, and that is what I'm getting from her. Like, I don't feel like all of this that she's coming up with, because it's not even, she kept saying she's 42, and I'm like, it's not even, you're 42, you're too old to actually come off this way. Like, to really, really come off this way where, oh my God, they're so mediocre. And that's a put on to me. Like, all of that is a put on. And I just feel like she's not as confident as she's trying to portray. So that's sad, and I do hate that for her. Like, she's telling Kat, "Oh, you're obsessed with me, and I hate that for you." No, ma'am, you are really insecure, and deep down, like, of course she'll never admit it, but deep down she know I'm right, and I hate that for her. Like, just get right with yourself, whatever you need to do. um Drink the water, like I'm drinking the like I'm drinking the goddamn water. Do the workouts, whatever you need to do, like, whatever you need to do to improve, so that you can really just have some regular confidence, like, where you don't have to be overconfident or come off like you're overconfident, and it's just not real. It's not real. But we move on. Tommy say that, they just don't get along. They won't like each other, and it is what it is. And I agree. Some people just don't get along. She unfortunately don't get along with anyone on the cast, except for that one girl that she came in with, the other aggressive girl. And that's it. That will be her life. She's 42 at this point. She's set in her stank ass ways, and it is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't, which is what they said as well. All right, we move on. Hopefully we don't have to talk to her anymore, you guys. Like, I'm over it. I'm over her. Let's move on. All right, y'all. So we have this whole part with bitch ass Chris, and the aggressive girl, and Kat, and Morier, or whatever. And we're talking to Chris about the fact that he called her combative, and the fact that he didn't own it. And once again, he said on stage, even after they played the montage of him calling her combative and everything, he sits on stage and say, "Well, I wasn't the only one that called her combative." Okay, Morier was like, "Yeah, you were." I don't know if that's true or not. I feel like all the men felt like she and Janelle were combative, and maybe they were just too scared to say it when they were asked about it. But I feel like it was more than him that felt that way. I don't know if anybody else was caught on tape saying it, but I feel like a lot of them felt that way. But he is still a bitch, because he's still sitting there trying not to really own it. Yo, if this is how she act, this is how she act. And Kat said it when asked. She was like, "Listen, if you are acting that way, then you are that way, and I feel like you are combative, and that's that." And she's like, "If I was acting that way and somebody told me, I would try to fix it." So the girl, aggressive girl, didn't want none with Kat. She's like, "Okay, Kat, I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm not." And I'm like, "Yeah, because she makes sense. She makes sense." So Tommy is just like, "Oh, let's just agree to disagree." Y'all, he's a terrible host. I'm sorry. I ain't got nothing against Tommy, but like, when they get out of hand, he ain't got shit to say. He don't know how to calm them down. He don't know how to get to the bottom of things. He don't know, like, that's pretty much the only thing he has to say. And then he's like, "Oh, but the way you speak to the women, you gotta, watch how you speak to the women." And Chris is like, okay, you're right about that. Because Gerald Levert is like, the black women talking to each other this way. And the black. Gerald, okay, we know you're blackety black. Okay, we get it. We get it. All right, next up we have a very boring segment with Old Face and the girl he likes, the pretty girl that we can't remember her name with the braids. Yeah, I actually like them together, and I still feel like she kind of like him. She was giving up a little flirt, when it was time for them to be gone. But yeah, they didn't really get into anything, you guys. We know the whole thing with her thinking that he's not stable. He says he's stable and he's not stable. I'm like, even when she met his family or whatever, he came out and said, yeah, yeah, I'm still not stable. Shit's not working, but I'm trying. And okay, that's great for him. And that's fine for her if she doesn't want anyone that is in that season in his life right now. Like she feels like he should be further along, and that's fine. Um, yeah, so they're not gonna work out. And Tommy's like, oh, y'all ain't gonna fight and argue or whatever. And he's like, I've been through a lot tonight. Whatever, Tommy, you can't handle it even if they were to fight and argue. So now we're with White Boots, and we start her montage of, all the connections or lack thereof that she had, and just them showing her. Ugh, I swear. Ugh. All right, you guys. So we have this whole section with White Boots, and of course, we get into the fact that she felt like Q, Workout Guy 2, liked white women, and she said, oh, my mistake, maybe Spanish women. I'm sorry. And I'm like, she just can't shut up. Like, she is just ridiculous. Y'all just seeing her little clips again. Oh, she's so annoying. So fucking annoying with the whole, oh, I'm the closest thing to white because of the way I speak. And oh, bruh, I have black cousins and all of that. Oh my God. So then we talked to Levert about why he didn't like her. And he said, listen, I just feel like I'm too black for her. And I'm like, you're too black for all of us. Levert, calm down. We love being black. You should calm down. And this fool said something about he's blacker than just attending Beyonce concerts. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, what does that mean really? It made no sense at all. Maybe I'm not woke enough. I don't know. Or maybe I just didn't hear him correctly, but I could swear that's what he said. It made no sense. If someone can explain it to me, that's fine. I'm open. I'm not always right. That's fine. All right, so I must say that we come back from commercial and we have a moment with White Boots and Gerald Levert, and she's back there crying. He goes to sit down and ask her what's wrong. She says something about if you had a daughter, would you want anyone speaking to her in the way saying that she's not black enough? And I'm like, that's never gonna happen to his daughter. She's coming out in a dashiki. Quit playing with him. Like, don't play. And he said no. And if that's the way you took it, then I do apologize. I'm sorry. And she's like, I receive while not looking at him. Um, y'all, I ain't even gonna get into it. But yeah, while not looking at him, she receives and they do this little handshake or whatever. So I am gonna get into it. It's just rude when, somebody is talking to you and you're not looking at them, because I do it. When I'm mad at somebody and I ain't really fucking with you, but I hear you, I'm not gonna look at you and you're gonna know. And I do it at work all the time. And I'm trying to think if I do it in personal life. I don't do it in my personal life. But at work, oh yeah, if you come in my office and you're talking to me and I don't look up at you, I'm still looking at the what's name, and I'm no, no. That means no thank you. So I don't know if she really accepted. She shook his hand and that was that. A cute little moment if, she actually accepted and they can move on. All right, y'all. This is the fucking Janelle show and I cannot. So we have Can't Tell Me Nothing, Workout Guy 2, Q, and Lee, Workout Girl 1 on the stage. And we talk about Lee and Q's connection and the fact that, of course, Janelle wasn't letting nobody in. So her and Janelle starts going back and forth. Q said he was uncomfortable having two connections because in his real life he's normally focused on one person. That's fine, but dude, you knew you came on this show and you knew what was gonna happen. So why'd your dumb ass come on the show if you knew you couldn't juggle women? And the show is about juggling women until you find the one. But it's fine. So I just can't stand the way he sits there and he's constantly trying to defend this girl and her bad behavior. But that's okay. it's okay. Like, he's going to learn one day. It's okay. So yeah, Lee was just like, I don't have to go back and forth with somebody who's unaware of themselves. And she's right. And little workout girl will give her the business. So I'm like, Janelle should definitely pipe down talking to her. And yeah, we got nothing out of it, basically. We see who's sitting together. Her and workout guy, they're sitting together. Can't tell me nothing. I don't know if they're really together in real life or what, but listen, if they like it, I love it. But again, we're going to talk to Janelle after the break, and I guess it's going to go off. And it was just too much of her. It was too much of her. All right, y'all. I pretty much think that's the end of the show. We talked to those two about being together. Apparently, they're together, but they've hit some bumps in the road, but they're still working it out. Yada, yada. We don't care. We're coming back, I guess, after the final commercial. If nothing really, really happens, then we're going to wrap it up here. So I'll hold off, though. Y'all know how I like get to the tail end and then just can't watch this shit no more and end up just wrapping it up, and maybe sometimes I forget some things, so I'm going to hold my horses and watch it all the way through. So we move on. Yeah, that was it. Nothing happened. We saw a little preview of this new Ready to Love Make a Move that's coming, and I guess it's the old people that was on the different seasons of Ready to Love. Some of the women, some of the men, and it looks stupid. No thanks. And the first person I saw, and I can't even believe that I remember her name, but she was just that bad. Like, she was just that bad. Zadia, y'all bring her back? Like, really? Are we rewarding bad behavior? She was shitty as all get out on that show. Didn't she put hands on somebody or whatever? And we're bringing her back? Unless, no, that was her, Zadia. Like, this show is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Nothing happened, you guys, except for at the end when he was asking them to clap for Janelle and Q. They barely clapped. Clapped for Levert and Aggressive Girl. They barely clapped. Nobody's interested in any of these people. So, all right, I'll see you guys in the next video, which will absolutely not ever be a Ready to Love video. All right. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. We would love to have you be part of the Beautiful People family. And thumbs up the video. It does wonders for my algorithms, analytics, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to think. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Smooches. Oh, I forgot to say, if you are here, you are the real MVP. If you made it this far, you are the real MVP. Smooches.